First of all, give us your sense of where U.S.-China trade talks are right now.
I think we're getting closer to a deal. Just yesterday, China cleverly announced it's going to buy some more soybeans and buy some more pork. I think that's a signal that they want the talks to continue. I certainly hope that they conclude.
What about this question of the possible relationship between the trade talks on the one hand, the economics on the other hand, with the human rights issues on the others? This has been percolating around the world for some time. We talked with Senator Rick Scott of Florida yesterday, and I asked him whether the two should be connected, and he said basically he thought they should be. This is what he said.
If you look at the fabric of this country, we stand up for people. We stand up for the little guy. We stand up for the people that are oppressed. That's what this country's made of. I just don't think we can just say, oh, we don't care about 1 million people in prison for their religion.
So what about it, Mr. Ambassador? Should they be linked? Should there be a connection between human rights on the one hand and commerce on the other?
Well, I agree with Senator Scott that certainly the United States should stand up for human rights because we are the only country in the world who can. And people around the world do look up to America. The Chinese people do too. They appreciate it when the United States speaks openly and clearly about human rights. However, I think that it's not wise to link the Hong Kong situation with the trade talks. They're very different. And the more we start to link, the more it confuses the issue. It makes it more difficult to get an agreement. They're separate. We can deal with trade on a trade basis during the trade talks. Then let's also deal with Hong Kong and Xinjiang, the Uyghurs out in Xinjiang province, separately. And I think it helps more when we work with other countries on human rights. When we just do it alone, unfortunately, China then takes advantage of that and then does a deal with other countries.
You think that we're making progress, quite possibly, in U.S.-China trade talks, which would be good. That's the phase one, which is a fairly modest agreement. It seems like it will be. Tell us about the overall relationship, because the whole reason we went through all this was to form a more constructive relationship over the long term with China. Are we headed in that direction?
Well, the first dates could be December 15th to see whether President Trump goes ahead with his tariffs. Hopefully he won't, because there'll be some kind of interim deal. And if it's an interim deal, then President Trump could say, hey, I got a deal. And also he can say to the hawks, well, gee, there's more coming later. Frankly, I think a trade deal is really not the big question. The big question really comes down to national security. We may get a trade deal on the tariffs that Trump initiated, so-called Section 301 tariffs, to try to get China to change its structure so it would subsidize and it wouldn't engage in IP theft or technology transfers. I don't think is working very well. I don't think China is going to do very much there. So there could be a kind of a papered over agreement later on those issues. But the real question is later, frankly. It's Huawei, it's ZTE. It's all these issues that, revolve around national security that very much cause a lot of angst in the United States.